So it's already happening. So if you don't accept it, you're just going to be left behind.
Dude, what is this?
I missed my flight from Detroit, which resulted in 2 extra plane rides and editing my last film on the plane. This made my eyes so bloodshot from lack of sleep, they strip-searched me for weed in Tokyo when I arrived, convinced I was high. I wasn't high. Welcome to the busiest intersection in the world. I'm in Tokyo, Japan. If you're confused as to what the seed envelope is, that's totally cool. I built this global map which you can find on notnormalshow.com, where you plant a seed, which is an unfinished idea, in your city. Each week I choose a new seed, I fly to that city and complete it with you. I pick each seed weekly based on a creative flow state, an impulsive whim of excitement. I click on the seed, see which city you're from, get in contact and fly to you within a couple of days. It's that simple. This week's seed is... Together we should learn to love robots. Welcome to my new weekly show, Not Normal.
Pictures of the bits in my brain and you can see quick sticks. So we the black sheep, not normal. Flipping with the switch, we strange. You can say it again and take a back seat. Crazy, not normal.
We're gonna wipe out millions of jobs.
But some big tech and science names warn of a real-life risk.
The loss of all that we
Software takes over, and the machine does everything.
Because of Western media and some light research on the plane, I had this preconceived, unsettling feeling when taking my first stroll through the streets of Tokyo. Like I was being watched by a reflection of humanity without emotions. That I was constantly being monitored by a civilization so advanced, I couldn't even fathom what the data would be used for. Was this really the case? Is Tokyo a city fueled by some new dimension of intelligence? Or would I be left feeling totally ignorant after digging deeper? It's time to meet this week's seeder. Shin.
That was perfect timing.
Amazing, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Shin.
Awesome. Is this normal, dude? Like to have the basin on top of the toilet?
Oh, yes, it is.
Is that a normal thing?
Yeah, it is.
And do you brush your teeth in there?
No, that's not normal here.
It was at this moment he knew.
What do you feel about it, Japan?
I feel that my whole life has been a lie. Because I thought that Japan was going to be noisy. Like I thought it was going to be a chaotic... Then I continued to explain my illusion of Japan as a whole. Shin then suggested we take to the streets again, but this time with local insight. He took me through the dynamics of Tokyo. Everything is indeed a lot more electric and runs smoother than anywhere else I've been in the world. But I'd yet to see these robots everyone's been talking about. We sat down and chatted about why he planted the seed.
So I planted this seed of how to welcome the love into our world, because this whole AI revolutionary thing is already happening. The biggest capital in the world is investing billions and millions of money into the artificial intelligence, and if you don't accept it, you're just going to be left behind.
Shin. He is a new age thinker, a trendy kid aligned with the understanding robots will advance our lives. This is going to be a seriously tough concept to tackle. One that would need tons of research and some deep contextualizing for you. To give you a bit of context before we continue, let's have a look at what's being said on both sides of the figurative fence. On one side, robots represent the threat of a jobless future. That, in the words of fellow South African Elon Musk, robots will be able to do anything better than us, including the fear of autonomous humanoid robots that deem humans lazy and complicated, ultimately wiping us out altogether and taking control of the world as we know it. And on the other, there is an insistence that while machine revolutions always eliminate certain jobs and change life as we know it, they rise productivity, creating new, better jobs and future life, arguing that we should embrace mechanical advances as a means to advance human life. Bill Gates, when visiting the lab of Harvard, said that the inventions he saw challenged our popular images of Terminator-style robots. That robotic discoveries, in fact, have far greater potential to improve human lives. All in all, the conversations around robots is often surrounded by panic. But a lot of the time, panic isn't a sign of danger, it's a sign of panic. We could be facing destruction, but we could also be on the brink of an incredibly positive change that allows us to focus on our inherent and unique humanity. To be seen as an edge and not a handicap. Well, let's go find out for ourselves. My main focus is going to be the consumer market here in Japan. What is already accessible for everyday human beings? I don't want to speculate, but rather experience firsthand. I found some pretty rad first-hand research for us to do. First was the Robot Hotel.
Welcome to Haneda Hotel.
Which was a complete bust.
This hotel wasn't exactly what I thought it was, or what the site kind of advertised. Apparently they had to fire more than half their robot staff. There are robots at the check-in desk, but they kind of just say the same thing. Once in Japanese, once in English, and then most of the check-in happens on a tiny little iPad screen. And for the price, the room's pretty small. We're just gonna head back to our Airbnb.
Next was to attend the robot restaurant.
$300.
Biggest scam. Get out of here. Dude. What was that?
I then found this amazing woman, Tomomi, a TED speaker, who discusses the non-romantic relationship she shares with her robot, Pepper.
Whole issue is not about human controlling a robot or a robot controlling a human, or it's nothing to do with that, but it's only about how we coexist together. So what human did creates a robot, but robot will surely advance human's life into the next level.
What do you think about that? Do you agree? Oh shit, red eye.
This was a lot of fun and super insightful.
It's having a stand down with you.
Let's see who can blink first.
Dude, that's awesome.
And then lastly, I rented us our own robot for the day.
I want to gain access to your brain, like all your knowledge. Dan.
I saw it had a camera and the ability to take some pretty good still images, and this is what led to the overarching concept for this film.
The idea is to create a welcoming video for robots. So we're going to utilize the robot that we have, and we're going to use that to shoot in the stop motion a video that explains what human beings are all about. And it's like a humorous take on human beings, so at the same time we can watch it and be like, oh shit, that's what humans really are, and if you had to look at it from the side of robots. So it's on both sides of the scale.
Together we then used Shin's musical knowledge to create a soundtrack.
Welcome to planet Earth. And there'll be like a globe, and I'll be on the one side and you'll be on the other side.
Now that I had the soundtrack in the bag, I raced home to set up a very basic stop-motion rig with blackout, duct tape, a tripod, glow sticks, clamps, scissors, a green scrim, and local Japanese magazines. And most importantly, with no camera, but rather our robot friend, RoboHan. That'll be shooting still images at 12 frames per second.
Good to go.
I edited it all together, headed over to Shin's place to surprise him with our video on welcoming robots to Earth, shot by a robot.
How are you, bro? Are you ready?
Yes.
Hello, don't be alarmed. We are humans, and we want peace. This is Shin, and I am Dan. Those are our names. Every human has one. A lot of humans have the same names, like Matt or Sarah, but no one is the same on the inside. You see, we have what are called emotions, a very complex set of chemicals our brain releases, which makes us feel things from happy to sad. Nobody likes to be sad. But then there's love. Oh yes, love. It sometimes feels like sadness because we tend to preconceive the loss of it through the inevitable understanding that nothing is ever fully ours or ours forever. But it's the impermanence of human life that keeps the flame bright. You probably wouldn't have to worry about any of that stuff. Just know that we do. It's pretty stressful being human at times, so let it slip when we get angry or call you mean names when your parts malfunction. Know that it's not you, it's most definitely us, dealing with our emotions and stuff. It's usually the people that seem the least lovable that need the most love. Then there's a thing called money, which ultimately controls us all. That and something we call governments, which are a group of humans just like us that sit around fancy tables and make decisions that impact the lives of, well, everyone. It's very complicated, you see. Oh yeah, and one more thing. There's a lot of major endeavors we're gonna need your help with. Taking over the human race isn't one of them. Don't be a dick.
Dude. That was fucking dope, man.
Oh, bro, you had my heart going. Okay, sick, bro. That was so gnarly to do in like 8 hours.
Man, thank you for this experience, dude.
Bro, we've got to get to the airport.
Now?
Let's cut to the other outro, rather. Don't forget, you're awesome, bro, and I'll see you next week, Wednesday. I just want to say a huge thank you to my sponsors, B&H for the awesome gear, Epidemic Sound for the insane library of music, and Skillshare, the online learning platform for creators. There's a link in the description to get a 2-month free trial with Skillshare, so check it out. On next week's episode, we're breaking the law in South Africa.